Duelist, and today I've got another deck profile for you. And this one's going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a debut deck profile. I know I've been doing a lot of those recently when I was doing deck profiles, but I've done a lot of opening videos recently, so I've been flooding my channel with opening videos. And stay tuned because there will be a lot of Premium Gold, Infinite Gold videos on my channel, at least 20. I'm looking at like 20 videos, so stay tuned for those, guys. Without further ado, let's get into it. So today we're going to be doing Phantom Knights with a little bit of a twist. I'm going to go through the deck and tell you a couple of my techs and why I play them. So let's get into it, guys. So first off, I'm playing 3 copies of the Phantom Knight of Ancient Cloak. Each Phantom Knight monster has a special effect when it's on the field or in your hand, and it also has a special effect when it hits the graveyard. So, the Phantom Knight of Ancient Cloak's field effect is that when it's on the field, you can switch it to defense position to make a dark monster on your side of the field gain 800 attack, and when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to add 1 Phantom Knight card from your deck to your hand. So it's probably the best Phantom Knight Phantom Knight monster besides Booties, which I will tell you all about Booties in a minute. But really, really good card. They're all very good, but I like Silent Boots best. So then I play 3 copies of the Phantom Knight of Ragged Gloves. Arguably the second best Phantom Knight, or best. They're all just really good. The level 3 ones are just amazing. Ragged Gloves' effect is that if you XYZ summon a dark monster using Ragged Gloves, it gains 1,000 attack points when it's on the field. When it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to send 1 Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard, which can be helpful to send a Phantom Knight spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard, or an Ancient Cloak to get a search off. So it can be very versatile. This deck is very combo based, where you're going to combo your Phantom Knights together to get searches and to XYZ summon. But the thing to remember about Ragged Gloves is it doesn't stack. You can't overlay 2 of them like this to make a 2,000 attack point gain. They only work for 1. So you can only use 1 Ragged Glove. You can use 2, but they'll only get the 1 boost. So then I play 3 copies of the Phantom Knight of Silent Booties. I always call it Booties even though it's Boots. It is the Phantom Knight of Silent Boots, but I like calling it Booties because it's just cute. But its effect is that if you control another Phantom Knight monster, you can special summon it from your hand, which arguably is my favorite of all the Phantom Knight cards. If you special summon it out where you control another Phantom Knight monster, it's essentially an instant rank 3, which is really, really nice. But if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard to send one, or not send, add 1 Phantom Knight spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Now, that's it for the rank, or the level 3 Phantom Knight monsters. Let me get into the 2 rank 4s, or level 4s I play. I play 1 copy of Cloven Helm, the Phantom Knight of Cloven Helm, which was my favorite, but I took it out. I was playing it like 2 or 3, but then the trap ones came out, and I was like, oh, no, don't need this. You can go a rank 4 build, but it's not very good from my testing. With Cloven Helm, if it's on your field, every time a Phantom Knight card is banished from your graveyard, you can make this card gain 500 attack. So if you just banish 1 card, it becomes a 2,000 beater, which is pretty good. That's why I'm playing it as a 1 of right now. I might drop it. If it's in your graveyard, though, you can banish it to add 1 Phantom Knight card from your graveyard to your hand during your end phase. The other level 4 I play is the only other level 4 Phantom Knight card, and that is a copy of Fragile Armor. The reason I play 1 copy of Fragile Armor is because it's kind of a failsafe if it's in your hand. If it's in your graveyard, it can essentially be a quick little draw power, and it helps fill in your grave. So its field effect is that if it's in your hand, then you can special summon it if a Phantom Knight monster is destroyed by battle. And if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to draw 1 card by sending a Phantom Knight monster, or by, I think it's sending a Phantom Knight card. Let me read it. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it and send 1 Phantom Knight card from your hand to the graveyard, then draw 1 card. So it's kind of a draw power, and it sends something from your hand to the graveyard, so you could combo that off very easily, and it helps out. So that's it for the Phantom Knights, guys. Let me show you the other tech monsters I'm playing. I'm playing 1 Armageddon Knight. I've considered bumping it up to 2, maybe even 3, but for now I'm just running the 1. Because I'm running 1 copy of Mathematician also, and I don't see myself needing more than 1 Armageddon at the time, for now. Maybe in the future, but not now. Then I'm playing 2 copies of Card Trooper because you will need to mill in this deck a lot. And with that insta triple mill and that draw, if it gets destroyed, really, really, really helps. If it's destroyed and you use your sword break to destroy it, you do get that draw off. So it's really nice to pop it with a break sword and then get a draw. So it's pluses. Then I play 2 copies of Crane because it's essentially an instant draw, or not a draw, but an instant level 3 or rank 3, which is really, really nice. I always get those mixed up, rank 3s and level 3s, so excuse me guys, you know what I'm talking about. But if you play this, it special summons back a level 3 from your graveyard, which essentially lets you go into a break sword or Dante or something like that. Usually I go into Dante early game to get my mills off. And then the final monster I'm playing is 1 copy of Doomsday Horror. With Doomsday Horror, it's really nice because you can normal summon it, and it becomes a big beater late game, and if it's destroyed by battle, then you get to put all of your banished dark monsters back in your graveyard. But for every dark monster that's banished, it gains 300 attack. So that's pretty awesome. But that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells, guys. So first off, I'm playing 1 copy of Rhoda, because the majority of the stuff you play is, warriors. I really wish this was at more than 1, and I hope during the ban list it goes to 2 or 3 maybe. I don't see why it's at 1 right now. There wasn't really a deck that was like, besides Tellers, that was like, oh my god, but this, you need Rhoda for so many other decks. Then 1 Foolish because your Phantom Knights thrive in the grave. 1 Burial because you're going to banish a lot of your Phantom Knights. Then 2 copies of MST, because MST is just amazing. And I don't think I need Twin Twister, but by all means, if you want to play Twin Twister over MST, go for it. Play a Twin Twister. Now, I do this a lot, and it seems to be popular. I've got 3 tech cards. Okay, they're all the same card, and I want you guys to tell me what it is. Now, pause the video, tell me what it is, and then let it go. So I'm going to let it go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here it is. I'm playing 3 copies of Mass Change 2. With Mass Change 2 in the deck, it really, really helps out the deck because it lets you go into Dark Law and Anki, which has won me games with just going into Anki. It lets me discard a Phantom Knight, which lets me go into more plays, and it lets me have Dark Law, which cripples a lot of decks now, and the majority of the stuff that I play is dark. Besides like Card Trooper and Mathematician and Crane, it's all dark. Even the XYZs, this is an oh shit button, and with the Phantom Knight sword, it can make a Dark Law go up to 3,200, which is crazy. And with the Phantom Knight Wing, it can make it not destroy a battle and go up to 29. So, really helpful card. I highly suggest you play 3 of these in your Phantom Knight deck, if you're just playing pure, which I'm playing pure. I just like the pure deck better than Speedroids. Then for the traps, I'm playing 1 copy of Bottomless Trap Hole because sometimes you will need to stop your opponent from mass pendulum summoning or XYZ summoning something that's deadly to you. 1 Torrential because my Phantom Knights don't really give a shit about being destroyed at all because they're just going to get effects in the grave. 2 copies of the Phantom Knight of Dark Gauntlets. The reason I play 2 Dark Gauntlets in this deck is because I play 2 copies of Tomb Shield. The Phantom Knight of Dark Gauntlets, his effect is that if he is on the field, I can activate him to send a Phantom Knight card from my deck to the graveyard. That's a Speller Trap, which is really, really nice because all my Phantom Knight Speller Traps do thrive in the grave too. And if he's in your graveyard and he is the only, or you have no cards on your field, then if your opponent attacks you, you can special summon it back to your side of the field as a level 4 monster with 300 defense. And then for every Phantom Knight Speller Trap card in your graveyard, it gains 300 defense. So it can be a wall late game if you have a bunch of Phantom Knight Speller Trap cards, which I do play, I think, 4, 6, 10. I play 10 traps that are Phantom Knights. So it can become really big. That's a 3,000 beater or 3,000 defense if I have them all. So that's really good. And then I play 2 copies of Tomb Shield because if you play this down, it's going to either bait your opponent or it's going to just, it's going to do some stuff. Because if you activate it, it's essentially a trap monster. You can special summon it to your side of the field as a level 3/0/0. And it just helps so many plays because you can overlay on top of it. But the really neat thing is it stops vanities, lose one turn, and stuff like that because you can banish it from your graveyard to target one trap card your opponent controls and negate its effect until the end phase. So it can stop and turn off vanities for you and leave it on for your opponent, which is super, super nice. And then I play 2 copies of the Phantom Nightwing because it is just necessary, because when it's in the graveyard I can banish it and special summon another Phantom Knight, and when I activate it I can make a Phantom Knight card gain 500 attack, so it just helps, and it's not destroyed by battle. It's any monster, so it can work on Dark Law, like I said, so really, really good. Then I play 3 copies of Fogblade because Fogblade is amazing, and I've come up with a combo that if you play Mass Change 2 and Fogblade, you can attack your opponent directly with Anki and just bypass their monster. So really, really good. It negates a monster's effect, so it's essentially a Fiendish Chain, but you can't target the monster for attacks. But they can't attack either. And if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to special summon a Phantom Knight card from your graveyard. And then finally, I play 3 copies of the Phantom Knight Sword. Spear is just crap, in my opinion, so I'm playing all traps. Sword's effect is that you can activate it to make a monster on your side of the field gain 800 attack. And if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to special summon a Phantom Knight card. So it's essentially a equip card until it hits the grave, and then you can banish it to make Monster Reborn. So all of these are essentially Monster Reborns when you're in the grave. So I'm playing 8 Monster Reborns plus the 2 Cranes. So the grave is my favorite place. The only thing that stops me is like Imperial Iron Wall, and I play the 2 MSTs. If you want to play, what's it called, Twin Twister though, like I said, go for it. But that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So first off, I'm playing 2 copies of Swordbreak. I'm only playing 2 copies of Swordbreak because I only have 2 copies. I don't think that you really need the third one with all the stuff that I'm playing, but if you want to, by all means, play the third copy. If it's on your field, then you can target one card on your side of the field and target a card on your opponent's side of the field and Scrap Dragon the shit out of it and pop them both by detaching a card. And if it's sent to your graveyard by being destroyed, then you can special summon a 2 monsters from your graveyard that are Phantom Knight cards, and then make them level 4 or increase their level by 1, which is kind of nice. But you have to remember it has to be XYZ summoned. You can't have the summon negated, which I actually messed up in a tournament recently with this. So yeah, it was the DarkArmedAlliance tournament. So Richard technically won. So good job, Richard. Totally messed up. But then Alucard, it is just nice for popping a back row that's set. So I make it. Then I play 1 Nightmare Shark because sometimes my opponent will only be down to 2,000 points, and I'll have a Fog Blade on board, so I can't attack their monster, so I'll make this and swing directly. So that's why I make Nightmare Shark in this deck. Then I play 1 copy of Giga Brilliant because I might need that extra 300 points. Who knows? It's just a toolbox card. I play 2 copies of Leviair, the Sea Dragon, because I do banish so many Phantom Knights, and if I can bring 1 back and have this engrave, I can go instantly into some other level 3. So Leviair 2 in this deck is essential. I would always play 2, maybe even 3, because you will go into this. This is almost more important than Breaksword to me. This plus Breaksword is probably the best combo because you will make them. Then I play 1 Engineer because it's a level 3 and it can negate the destruction of stuff. So nice card. Then I play 1 Dante because you're going to need the mills and you're going to need the 25 beater. Then because you do play a lot of level 3s, I play 1 Downard Magician. With Dante, you want to make this if you're done with the mills, because it's just a bigger monster to make. Then that's it for the rank 3s. The rank 4s that I play are a Key Beetle and a Rebellion. Haha, Rebellion. Yeah, you go. But I play a Rebellion and a 63 or 66 because you can make them off of Breaksword's effect, or if you get that rare moment that you get a Cloven Helm and a Fragile Armor on board. And then finally, guys, for my Masked Hero lineup, I play 1 Anki and 2 Dark Laws because I do find myself going into Anki and I do find myself going into Dark Law. At least once a duel, I go into both of these. At least Dark Law, because I will draw it and I will make it. With Dark Law, it just makes it a macrocosmos, and it makes my opponent think twice before searching. With Anki, it just lets me attack my opponent directly and add another mass change 2 to my hand. So it just super, super helps. Like, oh my god, you would not believe how much these guys help in this deck. Even if you're playing the other version, with Speedroids, I would definitely play these, because then you can go Divine Wind, and Divine Wind's funny as hell too. So anyways, guys, that's it for the Phantom Knight deck profile. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. It's been a little while since I've done a deck profile, so I'm sorry if the deck profile is a little long. I'm not used to taking them. It's been like 2 months because I've been sick and school and shit. But I hope you enjoyed it, guys. This is Dark Arm Duels. Don't forget to join Dark Arm Alliance in the description. And I'm